Screening made easy using the patented Screen Clip system by Advanced ScreenWorks. When you receive your lifestyle screen, you'll see that the screen comes on a cardboard tube. Place the screen on the frame. When you unroll the screen, you'll notice that there are two screens on the roll. Set one of the screens aside. The screen that you will be working on will be positioned in place using the patented Advanced ScreenWorks Screen Clip system. The way that these screen clips work is that the nose is pushed in first and then the tail is rotated downward until it rests flush against the extrusion. See here how these clips are installed in the opening to be screened. Notice how he starts in one corner, first on the vertical, and then on the horizontal. Observe how he is placing a screen clip directly opposite of the one that he placed on the inside vertical. Notice how he kept the bottom edge or margin of the screen flush with the bottom horizontal. You'll note the pattern he's using. First, he starts at the opposite end of the bay, and then he moves to the center and places another clip. From there, he then divides in half one more time the space on either side of the center of the bay. You see how he is adjusting the screen every time he places a screen clip, making sure that it's flush with the bottom of the extrusion before inserting the clip. Now you see him place clips on the top horizontal opposite of the ones on the bottom horizontal. What he's doing now is making the side margin of the screen correct. You'll see him move the screen back and forth slightly. What he's doing is making sure that the screen is square to the frame. Once the screen is square to the frame, he then places a screen clip in the top horizontal and then in the top of the side vertical. Once again, he pulls the screen taut and places a clip in the horizontal and then the vertical. Now he places a clip in the center of the screen bay directly opposite of the screen clip centered on the bottom horizontal. See how every time he places a clip, he pulls the screen taut and creates a ridge. Now, adjusting the side margin so the screen is parallel with the frame, he places the screen clip at the center of the inside vertical. Now he splits the distance between the two screen clips on the inside vertical. And likewise on the bottom half of the inside vertical. Notice how he works from the center of the bay outward, placing the clips directly opposite of the screen clips installed earlier. Here's a quick graphic showing the order in which all of the screen clips were installed. Please note that if you pull the screen too tight, you run the risk of bowing the extrusions. Do not pull the screen so tight that the extrusions are bowed. As previously mentioned, when you install screen clips, there are going to be ridges and valleys that are created. This is an example of what those ridges and valleys will look like when you are finished positioning the screen clips. What he will be doing now is installing the spline that will lock the screen into the aluminum extrusions. Now, before you start inserting the spline, please understand that there is a top and a bottom to the spline. The bottom is flat, while the top is curved. See how the spline fits into the spline groove. He begins by performing a process that is called pre-rolling. In this process, what he's doing is pre-rolling the screen down into the spline groove of the frame extrusion. What this does is pre-positions the screen into the spline groove, preparing it for the spline to be inserted. You can see as he's rolling the spline into the spline groove, he comes to the screen clip. He removes the screen clip and then continues rolling the spline in, all the while pre-rolling as he works along the entire length of the extrusion. Now when he comes to the end of the bay, what he is going to do is cut the spline. You will see here how he does this. He places the knife against the back of the groove, he puts a very light force against the spline, and then pulls the spline into the blade, severing it. He then tucks the tail of the spline into the groove with his knife. Now he is going to install the spline at the top of the door. He starts by pre-rolling the screen into the spline groove. Then he removes the clip. He places the spline into the spline groove and rolls it in all the way up to the next clip. He repeats this process until the spline is rolled into the top horizontal extrusion. Once again, he gets to the end of the horizontal and he cuts the spline as he did on the opposite end. He continues splining the outside vertical. He is pre-rolling to each clip, then inserting the spline to that clip. Again, he repeats this process until the entire vertical is splined. Now he moves to the inside vertical extrusion. Once again, he's repeating the same pre-rolling and spline insertion that he did on the previous 3 sides. One thing that you want to be sure of is that your spline is completely rolled into the spline groove. As you sight down the spline at eye level, the spline should be completely smooth in appearance. If there are waves, take your spline tool and roll the spline completely flat before you proceed to cutting the screen. Here you'll see that he is starting to cut the screen at the corner. You can see how he lays his knife down and places it in the back side of the spline groove and cuts the screen. Be sure to use a sharp blade. Notice how when he cuts the screen, he pulls on the tail of the screen that he has already cut. This helps with the cutting of the screen. Again, light tension on the screen that has been cut off helps tremendously in the screen trimming process. And there you have screening made easy using the patented Advanced ScreenWorks screen clip system.